The COVID vaccine mandate for nurses and other frontline health staff in Queensland has been lifted, allowing thousands of staff to return to work. That's great. That's the sort of thing we've been pushing for on this program for ages. In a statement to Sky News, Queensland Health said, as of Monday, employees in health and ambulance services no longer need to be vaccinated against COVID-19. And they welcome former employees to reapply for their roles. Well, it's taken too long, way too long, but it's well and good. But yet there's a big catch. Returning nurses and midwives face disciplinary action for refusing the vaccines when they were a condition of employment. Apparently, 115 people are under investigation. Joining us from the Nurses Professional Association of Queensland is Ella Leach. Thanks for joining us, Ella. I believe that 20 people have lost their jobs in just the last 2 weeks over vaccine mandates. What on earth is going on?
Yes, that's correct. It's definitely taken us by surprise in many ways. So a few weeks ago, Queensland Health announced that they were going to commence a review into the mandate. And then they started terminating nurses as soon as they announced that, and we've even had nurses terminated as recently as yesterday, even though they have officially dropped the mandate.
So they're being terminated because they didn't accept the terms of employment when there was a mandate, but they can't come back and have their jobs now, even though there is no longer a mandate. It seems absurd when we're so short of nurses.
It's completely nonsensical considering all the reports we're seeing of how short-staffed our hospitals are. I don't know if they're trying to prove a point. Some letters are saying that the trust has been broken, but others are saying that it's not because you didn't get vaccinated, it's because you didn't follow a reasonable direction. So I think it's quite misleading them saying that the mandate has been dropped, because they're inviting people to reapply for jobs while they're still terminating ones who are still employed.
Yeah, it's just so distressing, and these people, of course, have got medical training, so they were making informed decisions about their own bodies, and all the data and everything we've learned since teaches that the mandates were worthless anyway, because people were still picking up the infection and passing it on. So they've been vindicated, yet they're still being punished.
Well, I think the danger here is we've sort of lumped everybody into the same basket. So yes, there were people who had vaccine hesitancy, but there were a lot of people who actually tried to comply with the mandate and had reactions. They still got terminated, even if they did have valid exemptions. So the DG has said a number of times that if you had a valid exemption, you were protected, but they still terminated them. And even more bizarrely, a number of people who had been members of the QNMU for years, they actually forgot to update their status with Queensland Health. So they had both vaccinations and they received threat of termination letters. And then others were on self-funded leave, and so they got them outside of the time frame, and then they got terminated as well, just because they weren't within the time frame. So they ended up coming to us for assistance, but there was absolutely no method to the madness.
What an absolute disgrace. Now, they're being punished, of course, even though they're right, and even though, and that, of course, hurts their civil liberties, so I'm most concerned with that. But also, Queenslanders are being punished because they're being denied the services of qualified nurses who are willing to work. What more can you do to bring this to the attention of the minister, of any legal avenues you might have, because this seems absolutely atrocious?
I don't think it's a secret to the minister that we're in a very bad staffing situation. She just seems to be ignoring it. On Friday, one of the midwives who was terminated has been a midwife for 33 years, absolutely stellar record before this mandate came in, and she was from Mareeba. So we know that our maternity wards are on bypass, and we have women opting for caesareans who don't need them or want them, and they're firing nurses and midwives with, decades of experience. It's totally inexcusable, but they seem to keep getting away with it. We are a bit stumped on what we can do, but it's great that the media, in mainstream media, are starting to highlight the lunacy of this.
So many of them don't want to know about it, but we'll keep in touch with you, Ella. Thanks for talking to us, and we'll follow up with the government as well. Appreciate your time. Ella Leach there. What an absolutely ridiculous situation in Queensland. They need those nurses in the hospitals. They were right about vaccine mandates. Take them back.